Hi guys, welcome back to The Ratchet Christian. My name is Esmao and I am The Ratchet Christian. So today, real quick, we're talking about what is your type? Like, what is your type? What is it that you like? What do you like? Because we all have something and a type of person that we like physically. And even when it comes to personality wise, I'm sure you could, tell me what your type is, or if I look at your dating history, I could see that there's a pattern there. And a lot of people think like our type is just like in physicality, like if you like them like tall, dark, and handsome, or you like them light skinned and thick, with all the assets to go along with it. Y'all know what y'all like, and I do too. But I always have like this joke where I've told my friends, like, I feel like I've been dating the same person like over and over and over again. And the only difference is like they move when I move, or they change their name. But it turns out that there is some truth to this. I felt like I've dated the same person over and over and over again, although I've been in different relationships, because I essentially have recreated those same patterns with different people. And I had to, be accountable for the fact that what's the common denominator in all these failed relationships? It's me. I'm the only I'm the only consistent factor in all of these relationships that didn't work out. I dated different people and had the same results. And I started reading this book, and it kind of made me understand why. So the book is called Women Who Love Too Much. It's by this woman called Robin Norwood. It's a pretty old book, so if you go ahead and buy it, you're probably going to think, like, this book is so old, like, is this the right one that she's talking about? It is that one. It's called Women Who Love Too Much, and I highly recommend it. And I was reading it earlier this year, and this quote always stood out to me. This is on page 82. It says, "It is an old cliche in the field of therapy that people often marry someone just like the mother or father with whom they struggled while growing up. This concept is not quite accurate. It is not so much that the mate we choose is like mom or dad, but that with this partner we are able to feel the same feelings and face the same challenges the atmosphere of childhood already, we are able to feel the same feelings and face the same challenges that we encountered growing up. We're able to replicate the atmosphere of childhood already so well known to us and use the same maneuvers in which we are already so practiced. This is what, for most of us, constitutes love. We feel at home, comfortable, exquisitely right with the person with whom we can make all our familiar moves and feel all our familiar feelings, even if the moves have never worked and the feelings are uncomfortable. They are what we know best. We feel that special sense of belonging with the man who allows us, as his partner, to dance the steps we already know. It is with him that we decide to try to make a relationship work. There is no more compelling chemistry than this feeling of mysterious familiarity when a woman and a man come together whose patterns of behavior fit like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. If, added to this, the man offers the woman an opportunity to grapple with and try to prevail over childhood feelings of pain and helplessness, of being unloved and unwanted, then the attraction becomes for her virtually irresistible. In fact, the more pain from childhood, the more powerful the drive to reenact and master that pain in adulthood. So that was a lot of fancy words, but I'm going to break it down for you. Essentially, what she's saying is we end up in relationships with people who help us recreate our childhood circumstances, whichever way our parents loved us, whether if it's just one parent or two parents, whichever way we were loved as a child. As adults, we grow up wanting to recreate those same types of romantic relationships. Now, if you had healthy parents, who got along well, who treated you well, that's great. You want to have a relationship like your mom and dad. But if you didn't have a stable parenting system, if you didn't have both of your parents there, if you had a parent that was verbally or physically abusive, like, you're more likely prone to end up in those same types of situations because you've learned how to live in that type of atmosphere. You've learned how to dance that dance. You know what I mean? And for me personally, I grew up in a house with a single mom where I felt like my love was performative, like I overachieved. I got good grades because when I got good grades, that's when I would get praise, and I felt like sometimes praise and validation were intentionally withheld from me because perhaps you knew that's what I needed. Like, I am a words person, I'm a language person. I come here and I talk to you guys. Like, I like to talk. I like when people talk to me. Like, I'm very much a communicator. And so it's important for me, for people to talk to me nicely, to validate me, to, just get that praise and adoration. But because I was deficient in that as a child, because I didn't get that as a child, I found myself seeking relationships with people who withheld that from me. I was already comfortable being with people who didn't praise praise me, who didn't give me validation, that as an adult, I found myself in relationships with people who didn't talk to me nicely, you know, who held back praise and validation, people who I was performing for them to like me, you know what I mean? Like using my wit and my humor, like, oh, I'm funny, look at this, I'm smart, all these things to try to keep somebody in a relationship, you know, or even get somebody to commit, because I was already used to performing for love, you know. I know I get love when I wash the dishes. I know when I get love when I bring home good grades. I know that I get love when I clean the house. Meanwhile, love is supposed to be unconditional. You're not supposed to do anything to get love. People are just supposed to love you because they love you. But because I didn't experience that growing up, I ended up in relationships where I dated people that I had to do things in order to get their love. And so that's basically what she's saying. And also just thinking about like me dating people who I felt like, yo, like, you don't really like me. It's so crazy to be in a relationship with somebody who does not like you. You can be with somebody who loves you, but does that person actually like you as a person? Do they like your personality? Do they like things about you that other people don't know? Like, somebody can say that they love you and not genuinely like you. And I've had to have moments in relationships where I realize, like, you don't like me, dude. Like, you may like to look at me, you may like to climb on top of me, you may like to, you know, have me on your arm when we go out and you know, all those things, but as a human being, deep down, you don't like the type of person that I am. But it's because I felt at times, you know, that my foster mom did not like the type of person that I was, did not like who I grew to be as a teenager, you know what I mean? So trauma, all the trauma things, and I think it's because of that I ended up going into the fields that I did. You know, I work in mental health because I so desperately want to figure out, like, everything that happened in my life and everything that's happening in people's lives, you know, and getting the type of degree that I did. Like, I just studied people in college. Like, I'm so very much into studying human behavior. And so for the sake of us and what we're talking about right now about our type, evaluate your type. You know, we all know the things that we like physically, but what type of people are you attracted to? What type of personality traits do you think, oh, that's just what I like? Because what that book was saying is that it's much more complex than that. You know, the type of people that you attract are the people that you can most comfortably do your trauma dance with. You know, the people that you can most comfortably, like, you know, okay, well, I'm used to being in relationships. I know how to navigate this area. I know how to, you know, not yell if, you know, they're mad. Oh, I've been with this type of girl before. I know that she needs me to spend money on her in order to stay. Like, we get with people that we can most comfortably do our dances with. And because I know that now, it gives me the ability to take a step back and be like, wait, like, that chemistry that I'm feeling, do I actually really like this person? Or am I able to do my same song and dance with them? You know, because what that type of behavior can feel like sometimes, it's like, oh, we just have so much chemistry, like we get along so well, we vibe. It's like, no, they have a familiar spirit. You know, you've been in this type of relationship before, you've dated this type of person before, and so that's why it feels so familiar. It's not that you actually like them, it's that you fit together and you can continue doing the things that you were doing in your past relationship, in this relationship. At least that was the case for me, you know. And so now when I meet people and I click with them right away, it's like, oh dang, like that chemistry, like I really like, I like them, I'm into them. I'm able to take a step back and think like, wait, like, do I actually like them? Am I actually interested in them? Or am I able to do that same old song and dance that I've done in past relationships, you know, where I could use my wit, I could use my funniness, my humor, and my spiritual deepness and all the things, you know, to impress them, to get them to stay. You know, like, if I find myself performing for somebody's love, performing for somebody's attention, that's when I realize, like, oh, it's not that I like you, it's that I can do my same trauma dance with you. You know, I can do all the same things that I'm used to doing, you know what I mean? And so it's just been so helpful now, as I'm trying to, you know, pray to God and have God lead me to the right person to settle down with, the right person to get married to. Like, I've been picky, you know what I mean? And I've had to be picky because there's just so many pitfalls that I've had to try to avoid, you know what I mean? And that book was just so helpful that now I can take a step back and be like, is this really true chemistry? You know, am I really feeling you? Are you really feeling me? Or does this feel comfortable? You know what I mean? Because one thing I realized is, like, I don't want anything I've already had. You know what I mean? And the devil knows what you like. The devil knows what I like. He knows what to send my way to trip me up. He knows the type of man that I'm into, you know what I mean? And so he's not going to send somebody new because he knows what makes me fall. But I've had to be proactive and realizing, like, you know what? You're my type. You got everything that I used to like, but I'm not going to fall for that. You know, I'm not going to fall for the nice car. I'm not going to fall for the nice dinners. I'm not going to fall for the, you know, popping bottles at the club. I'm not going to fall for all those things I used to fall for because I've had it. I've had it already. You know, what I want is something new. What you should want is something new. And pray that when that something new comes, you'll actually like it, because that's another thing. You know, that's another aspect that's going to be hard when you're dating somebody that is new and doesn't set off all your triggers and doesn't make you feel so uncomfortable and scared. It can feel like, oh, I don't like them. Like, oh, they're too nice. But really, it's just like, oh, this situation is too healthy. You know, so my prayer has been recently, and even just over this past years, God, like, as I'm praying for God to bless me with a good man, like, Lord, help me to be attracted to him, you know, because if God sends you that good woman that you're looking for because you're tired of dating the type of girls that you used to date, you may not even be attracted to them because you're not used to that type of person. So you just have to pray like, God, as I'm praying for a good spouse, as I'm praying for a good partner, will you also put in me the type of character that can accept and like somebody who's good for me? You know, because that's a challenge. You know, sometimes people don't like relationships where there's no drama. When you're used to drama, you get in a relationship, there's no drama, it feels like something's wrong. When you're used to cheating, you get into a relationship with somebody who doesn't cheat, you think like something's wrong with that person, when really it's just something new. You know, so my prayer for you and my prayer for me is that, you know, when God blesses us with whoever it is that he has in store for us next, that we'll be able to receive love from them, that we'll be able to accept the newness of it all, you know, and not try to sabotage it because it's not something that we're used to, you know. So the book again is called Women Who Love Too Much. I highly, highly recommend it, even to the men. It's been so informative. And what I talked about was just like a brief synopsis of what this whole book is about. So if you can get it, get it. It's definitely super helpful. And yeah, pay attention to your type. Stop dating the same person over and over again with a new name and a new face and a new address. You know, that person has the same spirit that your ex did, and you might end up with the same results. So it's like, why waste your time, you know? So thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe and comment. Tell me about your trauma dance. You know, what is the thing that you can do? I'm like, oh, I can tell you a joke, and I can flip my hair, I can do videos, like all these things, when really we're just supposed to be at rest and have somebody love and accept us for who we are. And I want that for you. I want that for me. I want that for everybody who's watching this right now. So yeah, be blessed. Have an amazing rest of the week. Make sure you subscribe and like and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.